Oh, see, can you see by the wonderfully light? What's the glory yet the twilight shines in, whose stripes and bright stars, and the glow of the sun. Oh, the tree was, when so young, we swim, when the rockets very fun. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You remain standing. Invitations to be brought to us by Jason Rudd.
Pray. Dear Lord, we love you. We thank you for this day. We thank you for the beautiful weather that we've had. We thank you for the service of this Rotary Club. We thank you for the 4-H winners that are going to be presented here shortly. And we thank you for the Dothan soccer team. We thank you for everything you've given us. Bless food to our bodies and our bodies thy service. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Jason. Family Rotary will be brought to us by Rick Rocker. He carries some covered from good eye surgery.
Can you hear me? Hey, it's on. All right, we got some birthdays. Haley York, May the 19th. Ben Slingmuth, May the 24th. Arthur Gardner, May the 24th. Art Morris, May the 24th. Bob Caputo, May the 25th. And Dale Goodwin on May the 28th. Terry is out for some eye surgery today, so that's the reason you get to see my good-looking face. Anniversaries: George Flowers and Laura on May the 26th, and Stephanie Walker and Sean on May the 29th. I hope you have a blessed day.
Right here, y'all.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon. We're happy to welcome our guests and visiting Rotarians. I call your name. Please stand and remain standing until all visitors are recognized. So we have several guests of the club. Aaron Creek, Steve Donner, Whitney Galloway, Dana Brown, Reagan Brown. Is Reagan or Regan? Sorry. Tom Brown, Emily Kaufman, Kathy Meadows, Caleb Galloway. We have guest of Mike Schmidt, or Mike Schmidt is a guest. We have Amanda Rudd, who is guest of Jason Rudd. Terry Grant, guest of James Grant. And Mark Cruz, guest of Michael Maddox. Please give them a hand.
Today we have 1,848 points. Our lucky number today is 564. 564.
He said, yes. Let's go.
You can honor.
He was counting also his front of him.
This is the one right here. Now it's
Come back next week. Thank you, Caleb. Right. Hope everybody had a great weekend. On your table, you will find a flyer for Greg Higgins' Camino Walk, raising money actually on this walk for Rotary causes. I would encourage everyone to contribute. You have a barcode on the front. We do have a recent message from Greg this morning. Bear with me. And actually, this was to Bruce this morning. Sorry I missed your call. Linda and I arrived today in SARRIA. However, we want to do that in South Alabama, we'll be fine. And we have 5 more days of walking, then our Camino will be completed. I'm doing very well, no injuries, and I'm very fortunate. Thank y'all for checking on me. We'll take a moment. Please support Greg. He is trying on this trip to dedicate some time and effort to support this club and our cause. Just a reminder, we will not meet next week. It will be Memorial Day. Our next meeting will be on 6/1. Very important. Tomorrow, what's tomorrow?
Election day.
Election day. It is May 19th. Please go out and make sure you vote the candidate of your choice. And we all have responsibility, and I will ask that we all do our civic process. Actually, I'm on jury duty this week, so I can say that twice. This morning, I'd like to turn the podium over to Jason Rudd.
Each year, this Rotary Club recognizes some outstanding 4-H'ers. This program started sometime back in the 1940s, believe it or not. So it's a lot of watches this club has given to outstanding 4-H'ers. Whitney Galloway is going to come forward and she's going to introduce our recipients today. But I want to tell you a little bit of history, talking about the 1940s. After I got married, my wife was telling me about how she won a watch from a 4-H watch back in the day, back in 1987. See this little one thing right there, the little tiny. This is her over here. Amanda, would you stand, please? And she started, and she can recite her whatever. Matter of fact, come up here. Let's see if she can still remember.
I can. I don't want to hear all that.
Something about my eyes do this, my hands do this. Can you remember?
Let's do it together. Do it together. Yeah. All right. Can our Emily, y'all go ahead. Okay, so we have a pledge that we do, and quite like your 4-way test, it's something that signifies our values in 4-H. So I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living for my club, my community, my country, and my world. Yes, and thank you all so much for honoring these youth. They are phenomenal, and if I could put 10 or 12 up here, I would, because we have a really great group youth who give back to their community. And they're probably those kids that will grow up and be your future Rotarians. So they're those type of people that will give back to the community and make sure they're doing good for the people around them. So I'm very encouraged by all the kids that I come in contact. Sometimes I think we can get pessimistic about the youth of the world. And I just want you to come to a 4-H meeting one time and you will be re-encouraged by the skills and the values and the talents and just even the integrity and leadership skills that a lot of these kids present themselves with. And it comes from their families, and it comes from their teachers, and it comes from them being involved with us and other clubs like ours. So, but with that, I want to introduce, first, I want Emily Brown to come up. She has been a part of 4-H since she was 9 years old, and she has, there's just a lot of different things that she has done, and she's going to, one of the things that we really try to encourage for our 4-Hers is for them to learn public speaking. So I kind of said, hey, come give us a little speech so that you can present some of the things you've learned.
Alabama 4-H has impacted my life in so many ways. Over the past 5 years, I've grown as a person in a very positive way. Before joining 4-H, I didn't understand my own potential. I've always been willing to try new things, but they have usually been within my comfort zone. Through my 4-H experience, I have been given numerous opportunities in leadership and growth. One of the most valuable things 4-H has taught me is to never be afraid to respectfully state my opinion on a topic. I've even learned that public speaking isn't that bad. I can now confidently use my voice with little doubt creeping in. I've also grown in my leadership. I've learned that being a leader doesn't always mean being the boss, but rather being the lead learner and learning along the way. I can now proudly say I am better prepared for the world thanks to Alabama 4-H. Working with 4-H has taught me the value of giving back to others. An awesome example of this is once a year, around Christmas time, we as a club would choose one assisted living facility and go caroling door to door, bringing joy to the elderly. I now understand that personal success is not measured by our achievements, but by how we give back to others who have given so much for us. Possibly the most important thing is that 4-H has greatly impacted my character. It has taught me to never give up when things are hard, to have integrity when it comes to my actions, and to be proud of my achievements. All the lessons I've learned through 4-H will stick with me throughout my life, hopefully helping me learn, serve, and lead wherever I go. Thank you.
Okay, and also today we also have our male senior 4-H'er of the year, and he sealed the deal with his family. He's the third member of his family, of his third brother, to get the Rotarian watch. Okay, Rotary watch. So if we can have Luke Meadows come up.
My name is Luke Meadows, and I'm currently a senior at Houston Academy. I've been involved in 4-H for over half my life since age 9, and some of my involvements include livestock judging, showing cattle, some community service projects, and I'm currently the president of the Houston County 4-H Youth Council and the Alabama Junior Cattlemen's District 4 Director. Through these involvements, 4-H has shaped me into the person I am today and has grown deep roots into who I want to be. It has taught me responsibility, discipline, commitment, confidence and leadership skills, and communication like I'm doing today. It has helped me with teamwork. It's strengthened my passion and what I want to do in hopes of becoming a veterinarian one day. And it has helped me deepen my agricultural background for those future plans. Most importantly, the 4-H has showed me the importance of serving and giving back to my community, which is the biggest part of Alabama 4-H. Thank you.
Stay all the way on behalf of Dothan Rotary Club, I'd like to meet you with Rotary Club.
Thank you so much.
What an honor. Thank y'all for being here. Thanks for what you do. Appreciate it. Like turn the program over to.
All right, can y'all hear me? Okay. All right, well, most everybody in here knows that I have been connected probably through the heart with the soccer team. And so I'm extremely excited to introduce our guest speaker today. Ricky Davey is the current associate head coach with Mercer University. One thing I want to point out about this bio, you're going to hear one word over and over and over and over, and that's championship. We're going to have two in our coach. All right, he was elevated to this head coach position in March of 2025 after joining the Bears ahead of the 2024 campaign as the program's assistant coach and recruiting coordinator. In his first season on staff, Davey helped lead the Bears to a 6-5-7 record, highlighted by a win over American Athletic Conference regular season champion Memphis and a draw at third-ranked North Carolina. Under Davey's tutelage, he's putting fancy words in this. That makes it cool. The 5 Bears earned all South Conference honors and 2 of those receiving first team honors. In December, Mercer forward Barzy Blama became the 3rd player in program history to be selected in the MLS Super Draft, going in the 3rd round to Charlotte FC. Serving as the Bears recruiting coordinator, Davey was instrumental in the signing of a 12-member signing class on National Signing Day in November of 2024. Before the Bears, Davey served 4 years as a coach with the Atlanta United Academy program. In 2021, Davey coached the Atlanta United MLS Under-14 to 2 MLS Next Southern League championships and a Patterson Cup championship. Davey then became the U19 head coach and college showcase coordinator. During that same time, he served as an assistant coach for the Atlanta United 2 team. Before joining Atlanta United in 2021, Davey was an assistant coach and the director of international recruitment with Georgia State University from 2018 to 2021. While with the Panthers, Davey helped lead the program to the 2018 Sun Belt Conference regular season and tournament championship, as well as 2 NCAA tournament appearances. While at Georgia State, Davey also served as an NPSL head coach for the Georgia Revolution in 2021. Under his management, the Revolution was the 2021 Southeast regular season and tournament champions and made its first ever appearance in the national tournament, a run that garnered Davey 2021 Conference Coach of the Year laurels. Davey also served as assistant coach at Francis Marion in 2017 and served on the coaching staffs at Lemoyne 2015 to 2016 and Alabama Huntsville in 2014. As a player, Davey spent 1 season at Appalachian State before transferring to Montevallo in 2011. Trying to make you younger than you are. Davey tallied 16 goals and 20 assists in his 3 seasons with the Falcons. He would go on to be named to the Peach Belt All-Conference, Peach Belt Conference Tournament MVP in 2013, and helped Montevallo into 2 conference titles and 2 NCAA tournament appearances. A native of England, which will be verified when he stands up and speaks, Davey graduated from Montevallo in 2014 with a bachelor's degree in human nutrition. He earned his master's degree in education from Lemoyne in 2017. Davey holds both a UEFA elite license and a UEFAA youth license. But the most impressive thing about this guy over here, most impressive thing, when he was at Montevallo, he fell in love and married a homegrown Alabama girl. So he's one of ours. I'd like to introduce Coach Davey, Ricky Davey.
Thank you. Some introduction. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Well, amazing introduction. Thank you very much. I did not write that. I don't know who did, but they did a good job. Thank you for having me. Firstly, I kind of want to just take you guys through the process of, let me rewind. There are tickets on your table. Aaron told me to remind you guys, we have a big game next Wednesday night against Birmingham Legion 2. So tickets on your table, please come support us. We'll get into Saturday's game, but the crowd made a massive difference for us. So any support we can add to that is fantastic. So just want to take you through the process. You know, I took on, I guess, and the staff that we created this project in January, and just take you through that process a little bit and how we got to this point, and just starting the league season this past Saturday. So firstly, on your screens around and behind me, you'll see a little bit. So I'll just talk to you a little bit about myself, not as much as Kelly talked to you about me, but you know, my background. I'm from a small town in the southwest of England. So Taunton is the place I live. It's far away from London, far away from Manchester, any big city that you've heard, far, far away. But an amazing upbringing. I played for Plymouth Argyle as a young player. Amazing experience. Was there until I was 16 years old, a second level professional team in England. And as you can kind of see with the graphic there, I've played and coached at numerous places and different experiences, which has kind of shaped me on the field, shaped me off the field. But the biggest thing happened to me probably in 2012. My dad passed away from cancer my junior year of college. So Kelly mentioned Mariana, my wife, but she was a rock during that time. But it kind of flipped a switch in my mind that I wanted to use, you know, soccer's given me everything, literally everything. And I wanted to use that and put it back into kids and people and whoever I was around. So I started developing this coach's brain in my junior year of college and heading into senior year that, you know, every player that you talk to has professional aspirations, but the reality is that less than probably 1% make it. So we have to start to think about the future. So, you know, I started taking some coaching courses and really starting to think about how I could impact and use soccer as a tool. And, you know, through licensing and through education, kind of really started to do that. So, you know, to fast forward a little bit, I guess I'll head to Georgia State. So I moved to Atlanta from New York / South Carolina in 2017 and started. That was my first Division I job. I had worked at Division II schools all over the East Coast pretty much, and was really excited to get to Atlanta and start my Division I journey, which was fantastic. And 3 amazing years there. But you start to work with Division I players and they have a different mindset, a different mentality. They want to work. They want to be as good as they can, but they also want some balance. So, you know, from there on out, really started to delve into how do I get the best out of myself. So we had an amazing time there. Kelly forgot to mention, we made a conference championship every single year. Coastal Carolina was just better than us. And luckily enough, the one year we did win it, they weren't in the final. So we won one. But amazing. And then, you know, I took a step back during COVID and kind of realized that if I wanted to be the best coach I could possibly be, and I know everyone loves college athletics, I wanted to get out of it. And what I wanted to do was take a step back and start coaching younger players. You know, and what you find for any sports fan out there is that when you get to a certain level and a certain age, 2 things happen. Either the player thinks they are too good to listen to you or take the information in, or what you find is that they really can't be helped that much anymore. They develop certain habits that you can't break or they don't want to be broken. So I took a job at Atlanta United's Academy with the U14. So a fun age, 13, 14-year-old kids that, you know, I'll always remember Matt Lowry was my boss at Atlanta United. And I was kind of questioning whether I'd made the right decision and were the players listening to me? Were they not? And he said something to me. He said, you know how to do it, when to do it, why to do it. These kids don't. And you have to really break it down for them. So through my journey there, working at different age groups, it was really important that, you know, you dial everything back. The guys that we're working with here in the summer are so talented. They have a lot of information already. You're kind of helping them to win games, set them up properly, and help them find solutions to the opposition. Whereas at a younger age, you're trying to show them when, how, why, you know, what you have to do. So from there, got back into college athletics for family reasons, but Mercer's been a great stepping stone to whatever comes next. And through that opportunity, and you know, came Dothan United. You know, and the biggest thing was why. Kelly mentioned that I coached the summer team before in Georgia. Absolutely loved it. And I only did it for one season. And a lot of that was, you know, I didn't think we could do it again. And we had an amazing season, and the reality was, could we do it again? Could we do it consistently enough? And when I took the call for, you know, from Aaron, from Steve, from Mike, Dothan, and knowing Carl, who was here last year too, some extensive conversations, but, you know, could we be consistent, and do we have the support of the community? Do we have the support of everybody to make this something that's ongoing? And, you know, first and foremost, the community aspect of things makes it what it is. So, you know, you guys that come out and support the game, it impacts so much. It impacts the players' belief in what they can do. And a perfect example for anyone that was at the game this past weekend, and we'll get into that, but you give them an extra little bit, and soccer at this level is all about detail. And can you get an extra 1 or 2% out of these players? And that's what wins you the game ultimately. You know, but an amazing ownership group that supports me and supports the staff, the players. Amazing people like Kelly that, you know, it's not their job, but they're around it 24/7. But the biggest thing was the community support. Is the community behind this so that we can, you know, it can be sustainable, that we can win games with their help? You know, and what you also see is these guys want to become professionals. If they haven't been before, they aspire to that. And even my staff, funnily enough, that we'll get into, I think, have been flagged down at Publix or Walmart numerous times, being good luck for the game, and what do you think of this, what do you think of that? But an amazing place that I think is going places, you know, and I think an amazing soccer team that's really well supported and hopefully going places too, and it's done some amazing things so far. But, you know, I'll take you into the technical side of things. I have three amazing, an amazing support group throughout. I can't do this on my own and need a ton of support doing it. But these three guys especially do an amazing job and do a lot behind the scenes to kind of, one, keep me sane, to keep me on a level playing field, but also support the players and everyone around it. Tommy Shepherd, which all of these guys are British. Connor, is the tallest one in this picture, and him and Mike would argue who's the tallest overall, but they're all British, 2 from England, 1 from Scotland. Tommy is more of a physical specialist. He'll get the guys ready from a physical standpoint for the demands of the game. So you'll kind of see him, whether it's fitness, whether it's warm-ups, whether it's putting into action the physical pieces that we're demanding out of that session. Big Mike, as he likes to be called himself, is a goalkeeper coach, incredibly talented, needs a little push every now and then, but, you know, he's taking care of Yago for the most part. Quite the relationship they have going on already. So that's a fun one. And Connor is the Scot. You will not understand a word he's saying, but means well, great coach, and very privileged to have them around me. And again, we'll talk about the game from this past weekend a little bit, but just an amazing staff and great people. And nothing matters apart from these guys that you see on your screen right now. So the players are the most important thing, first and foremost. I think they play the game, they entertain you guys, and like I said, as a staff and a support group, we help them find solutions to everything they do. But they're the ones that get it done on the field. And you know, during the recruiting process, 75% of it was come play here and feel the support from the community. That's what it was. They had seen it online, YouTube, game highlights. They'd seen the run to the Final Four last year. And this is new guys I'm talking about. It's come here, feel it, and you'll see how that is. You know, an amazing experience for them. And off the field too, you know, all the events that we've had, visiting restaurants, you know, having the downtown welcome party, all these things that they felt so well supported at, it does leak onto the field. And then, you know, in that top row of players, our returning guys that one, know about the support so they can feed that information into these new guys. But two, also understand what it takes to win on the field and what it takes off the field to integrate into the community. So they can help these new guys, but massively important. And these guys already have felt your love, your support. And after one game, that will continue, but I think they really felt it, this past Saturday night. We have guys from everywhere. Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong, 18 different countries, as well as guys from all over the US and here locally in Dothan too. So, it's a real mix of talent. And it's interesting that, they're all here this summer and playing for the city. I think is really unique, really cool. And part of our remit at the start of the season and in the recruitment process was that you guys will give them everything in terms of support with it, whether it's at games, whether it's in the community, they need to give everything back. And they're fully on board with that. And I think you saw that one guy, Tito, who scored the winning goal this past weekend, could not walk off the field, and that's a physical replication of what we're asking for. Like, these guys need to give everything. You guys give them everything, they give everything back, and they did up until, the 99th minute. We'll talk about the referee later, but they gave everything for and ultimately, we worked all the time as 3 points. We got that Saturday night. I've gone the wrong way. Sorry, we don't need any more big Mike. What we did on the front end of this was try and create a methodology and a structure that could help these guys through this summer. And I'll skim over this briefly, but just so you guys know the ins and outs of what we do every day in the next 30 seconds or so. Soccer is based on 5 moments: attacking, defending, and then the transition between attacking to defending. So, and then corner kicks, free kicks, we call set pieces. So, everything we do is based around those 5 components on a daily basis. We have common languages and actions within that. So the structure for the players is there. And like I said, through these things, we try and plan out our week physically, depending on what we're trying to work on. And we find it really cool. I was texting with my wife yesterday, who's still in Georgia. I was headed to Crunch Fitness at 4:00. So I said, I'm going to the gym. I'll speak to you later. I texted her again at like 4:35. And she's like, how's the gym? And I'm like, not there yet. Got into some stuff here. So, it's something that we love, but we try and give the players the best platform they possibly can. And for future, whether it's future generations, future players, it's a great base to start on. If we can have all of these players on the same page from a young age up until when they graduate to senior teams, college, professional ranks, we want them to hear the same things, to do the same things, to act the same way, to play the same way, ultimately is our goal. And this season, started well, let's be honest. We came in probably, I think this is week 4. I think our 16th or 17th training session. We had 2 preseason games, one against the local opponent in Fort Rucker, one against a team from Panama City. They both went well. We were able to get guys lots of game time and lots of minutes, and for us as a staff to kind of start to piece things together. These guys, like I said, come from everywhere, so to play together is sometimes a challenge quickly, and there's not much of a turnaround for us. But everything that we did in those 4 weeks and even beforehand, whether it was Zoom calls, phone calls, was to prepare for last Saturday night on the 16th against Montgomery. And this group of owners, especially Mike, told me I could not do anything but win this game. So I felt that. And luckily enough, everything we did, like I said, prepared us for that game. Apart from probably the first 15 minutes where we got punched in the face, let's be honest. They scored a goal. We started slow. But ultimately we were able to turn it around and we were able to win the game. But, the biggest takeaway from that, 3 things, and I'll start with the crowd. The crowd was phenomenal. I think 3,300 people in the stands that night that drove these guys on. And, when you have, I think of the 11 guys that started the game, I want to say 7 or 8 were new to the team this year. So they've not felt a proper game at home. They played the exhibition games, but as you guys know, it's different. It's when you play a proper game, it feels different. It is different. Against a big rival geographically, and I know from past games, a big game. So, to get punched in the face, what we learned, from the crowd was that they never stopped. That community support did not stop when we went down. And that's when we probably need it more than ever, right? Is when you do get hit, you do take a punch. It's how do we respond? How do you help us respond? And these guys did respond unbelievable way, coming out after halftime and scoring within 10 minutes of coming back out. And, you know, if you were there, if you watched it, whether it was on the stream or live, I think what you saw is these guys grew in confidence because of that. And they started to really take over the game. And I think you saw a team full of confidence that took over the game, that pinned Montgomery back into their own box, you know, and it got late into the game, but these guys never stopped trying. I think it was the 91st minute, maybe, you know, a free kick for them that they hit, you know, wrongly. I assume he wasn't trying to do that. But one thing that we've been working on a ton, in transition, when we win the ball back, can we play forward first or can we secure possession? The guy in your picture right there wins the ball back 40 yards, 50 yards from the goal, and his first instinct was to play forward. So from a coach's standpoint, he played with an unbelievable technical level, a first-time pass into Ryan Holmes' feet, and continued to run forward. And we talk about that a lot, play forward, run forward, okay? And he did that. And this is the guy that could not hardly walk off the field. He joined the attack, he sprinted forward, and he took a shot, he took a chance. And when you have guys with Tito's ability, even if he can't walk, sometimes you want to leave him on the field because he can do things like that. You know, and that night was special, an amazing moment when that ball, it took 10 years to hit the back of the net, you know, from my point of view, but when it did, an unbelievable feeling for us to start in a positive manner and start as we need to go on throughout the season. So the biggest thing was the roar behind my head. I was telling Kelly about 20 minutes ago, you're trying to feed information onto the field to these guys sometimes, but these guys behind you are so loud, even from 10, 15 yards away. These guys are like, Coach, I don't know what you're saying. And you feel a little lost out there. But an amazing night, really great way to get started, you know, and we'll go away this weekend, try and do the same thing. A little less stressful maybe, would be nice. But the tickets on your table, we return home next Wednesday night against Birmingham Legion. And, you know, that same support, that same community support will spur these guys on again to get 3 points. So, you know, thank you for having me here today. Hopefully it gives you a little bit of an insight into what we do on a daily basis, what that recruitment process looks like, and what to expect entertainment-wise moving forward. Thank you very much. And again, any questions, please fire away. I'll do my best to answer them.
Do I have any youth camps this summer?
Aaron, you might be better answering that one.
Ricky and I talked about it. We think we're still going to be able to pull them off in June. The struggle has been our season is so condensed. You know, we play 18 games in 3 months. It doesn't seem like a lot, but think about a football game, play once a week. We're playing most of the time twice a week, training every day, but we're looking at mid-June to try to put a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday game together. At the same time, we really want to do it. We wanted to do it every year. It's so difficult time-wise with the players, you know, the heat, you know. If only we had an indoor facility. We're gonna do. But yes, short answer, yes, you're desperately wanting to do one this
year.
Yeah.
What is the commitment from the players to be in town? I know that some of them do not live here year-round. What is their commitment? What is your ask from them during the time?
Yeah, they arrived 4 weeks ago, so I think pretty much towards the end of April. You know, we do a great job of housing and feeding them. But yeah, their commitment level is from late April, early May, I think. You know, hopefully all the way through the national final, which I think is the first weekend, August 1st. Yeah, so 2-3 months. And like Aaron said, it's a wild ride. You don't really get time to stop. I think these first 2 weeks are the only 2 weeks we have one game a week, which is really nice from a coaching perspective. But yeah, from then on, we're Wednesday, Saturday, or Tuesday, Saturday. So hopefully they're here through August 1st, and then, you know, 90% of them will head back to college. You know, we have guys from Portland, Wisconsin, Louisville, everywhere. So it's a real mix of talent.
What about their athletic training, the weights, whatever? What facilities can you use?
Yeah, we have a ton of partnerships, and you know, we'll weight room wise, we do crunch. So all the guys head to crunch, which is a great facility for them. You know, we've got the stretch zone, other partnerships to get people ready for the game. So these guys do an amazing job of facilitating all that. We just tell them when and where to go and what to do. But yeah, we take care of them physically, you know, and also we're trained in that kind of stuff. Tommy's great at that. Like I talked about the physical piece in terms of recovery and regeneration. You know, he's big on that too. But yeah, these guys are very, very well looked after. If you meet them, don't let them tell you otherwise. Yes, sir.
What do you do for meals? Do you have a training table? Is there a dietitian? How do you feed the massive calories that they require?
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, Ana Rodriguez, along with other people, do an amazing job with that and talking and sorting that out with local businesses. But yeah, we train in the mornings for the most part. You know, so they'll come in, they'll eat breakfast before we meet and do a little video presentation based on training. Lunch will either be brought to them or head out to a local business to eat. You know, and from there they take care of their own dinner and as such. But they're very well fed, very well looked after. And like I said, they really go, you know, without nothing that they need. They're in a good spot. And I'll add that I've said this before to these guys. I think this is at least top 5, top 3 program in this league in terms of the way we treat the players, the way they're housed, the way you treat the players. It's incredible. I think there are a few teams in the country that do it like we do here.
On that, Rich, you talk about most of the people, I'm assuming in this room, don't know how large USL2 is. And when you say we're a top 3, top 5, made it to the Final Four, out of how many? Like, talk about the USL2 a little bit.
Yeah, an amazing league. I think there are 160 something teams at this point. 158? Yeah, so 158 teams. So yeah, I don't say that lightly. I think it's a league that has multiple conferences across the country, all California, New York, here, Midwest, Louisiana. It's all over the place. So it's a really tough league in terms of what you're asking for is to recruit numerous ways the best college players you possibly can, and it's a great platform for college players to turn professional. So, you know, for example, for this league, I'm the scouting coordinator for this league. So any good players in our league, USL Championship, which is a professional league below Major League Soccer, and USL League One, coordinate with me about players in our league. So, you know, it's great exposure for these guys to hopefully turn professional, achieve their dreams. And then you're also, like Dyson Clepier on our team was a professional up until last November, contract not renewed. That, you know, maybe fell out of love with the game for different reasons, or, you know, sports can be tough sometimes. But, you know, he's joined us this summer trying to get a route back into it. So he played for Orlando City's second team, standout at Akron. So recruitment-wise, you're trying to get the best possible guys that you can, fit them together really quickly into a season that's 8 to 10 weeks long, you know, which is difficult. But USL League 2 is an incredible platform, trying to turn guys professional, also win championships, of course. So an amazing league that spans countrywide, 160 teams. And, you know, to my experience and professional experience, like I said, this is a top 5 team in the country, let alone the Southeast, East Coast. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Great programs today. I'd like to thank everyone for being here. I'd like to thank the 4-H representatives. What a great job y'all done. Really appreciate it. Appreciate
Thank you.
Appreciate that, soccer. The tickets on the table, make sure those go with you. Don't let those go to waste. Make sure that you go to the game next week. Just a reminder, next week we will not meet. It will be Memorial Day, and I will ask or remind us that Memorial Day is just not about the day off, about barbecue, going to the beach, going to the lake. And it is a Memorial Day for those that serve. Please take time to look up what Memorial Day is all about. This Flag Day, and we do need to respect it. And we do need to take time to reflect why we're all here and able to do what we do. This is the time to do that. over the Memorial Day. I'd like to thank all the guests for being here. I'd like to thank everyone who helped participate with the program. You will, let's all rise. So 4-way test. Think, say things.
Is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial for all concerned?
Have a safe Memorial Day. See everybody June 1st.